Hi everybody, welcome to Reality Buzz TV. So you guys, I just watched episode 10 of the Mommy Club and great episode. Okay, I enjoyed the episode, especially the last scene in the episode. They didn't have a lot of scenes, you guys, because basically it was three scenes. They were at the strawberry farm with the kids, and then after that Mrs. Mops and Happy sat down to talk about the last scene, which was Mrs. Mops and Nozipho spending time together so that they can check in on Nozipho and they can find out if Nozipho is okay. So just because I want to work smart, I'm going to start by talking about the scene where Happy and Mrs. Mops are sitting down, talking about Nozipho. Then I'm going to move on to the scene where Nozipho and Mrs. Mops are spending time together, because I feel like those were the significant scenes in this episode. And maybe if I do have time, then I will talk about what happened at the strawberry picking thing at the farm. Okay. So obviously after they hang out with the kids and all of the mummies, Happy and Mrs. Mops are sitting down because Happy just wants to talk to Mrs. Mops about Nozipho. I want to say this, you guys. I feel like this episode was, especially towards the end, very emotional and heavy as well, you guys. I know I always joke about us, sishisa madoda, but I hope ukuthi guys i-date izogcina iphumile, because wow. Masingavele sibashise nje once and for all, singaba free. Yabona. There's so many tears that will be saved by us just skip it dates. Anyway, you guys. So Happy sits down with Mrs. Mops and listen, you guys, I do like the fact that Happy is concerned with Nozipho, okay? And I do feel like she genuinely likes Nozipho, and I feel like she is genuine in trying to build a friendship with Nozipho. But there are things that Happy does that I feel like it's not good when you are building a friendship. It's not good to do when you are building a friendship with somebody. For an example, she is building a friendship with Nozipho, but at the same time, her daughter, Uditi, is building a friendship with Coco being Nozipho's daughter. So obviously, Coco and Titi or Titi are having their own conversations. And I think when Titi is spending time with Coco, then Happy would maybe probe ukuthi what did Coco say about her mom, and then Utiti will end up sharing those things that not to Coco. Utiti will end up sharing the things that Coco told her about her mom, and I don't think that is good for a friendship Titi and Coco, because if Coco is confronting or just opening up to Utiti, and then she finds out Titi, every time she opens up to her, Titi will go back and tell her mom. She might end up not trusting Ukoko. I feel like even if Titi is telling Uhappy their conversations, but Uhappy must not share that with the other ladies, because that is going to make that friendship between Titi and Coco lose trust. Okay. So they're sitting down and she starts talking about Nozipho, and she says that, listen, I've tried a number of times to reach out to Nozipho, but I feel like she won't open up. Every time I ask her how she's doing, she just says she's okay. But it's clear that she's not okay. From what we've seen when we are hanging out in a group, she's not okay, but she always says that she's okay. And I feel like the other thing that is making me feel like things are not okay in her household is because Coco is talking to Titi, and she has told Titi that things are not okay at home. Okay, her mom is not okay. Anyway, Mrs. Mom says, listen, I feel like if the kids are starting to talk about it, that is Coco, like Nozipho's kids, which is basically Coco, because we haven't had the other kids talk about it, then it must be serious. It must be something that is affecting the kids, okay? So Happy says to Mrs. Mobs, you know what, I think because I've tried to reach out to Nozipho, and every time I reach out to her, she's closed off. She would just say she's okay. I feel like maybe it's time that you try to reach out to her. I don't want to lie, you guys. There is a part of me that feels like part of Happy just wants to know what's happening in Nozipho's marriage. But I do feel like part of it, I do feel like there's a genuine concern about Nozipho, but there's also just the thing of wanting Izindaba from Happy. I'm going to say that, okay? Just a little part of it. Maybe like let's say 80-20, okay? Maybe 20 is just, hey, it's Handindaba wanting to know what's kwenzekani in Nozipho's household, but I think part of it is really she's genuinely concerned. But a big part of it, and even bigger part of it, is the fact that they're doing a show and the producers are trying to find a way to get Nozipho to open up, and they're trying to see which cast member is going to be able to do that, because obviously Happy has tried and she hasn't been successful. Mrs. Mob says, listen, asijwayelene that much with Nozipho, but clearly if you have tried to reach out and it wasn't successful, I will try and do that. I don't know if it's gonna work, because she might do the same thing that she's done to you, which is say that she's okay, but I'm going to reach out and try, okay? Anyway, she ends up reaching out to Nozipho for them to go horseback riding, okay, which was a great activity because it's very calm and it was just going to be the two of them. There's a guy there who was helping them, Philip. And I don't know, you guys, if the reason that the riding of the horses was not successful for Nozipho was because emotionally she wasn't okay, or really it's not something that she would do, because they were riding, but maybe not even quarter of the way. She's like, listen, I can't do this. I don't want to do this anymore. Apparently, previously, she has had an accident with quad bikes at some point. She's still traumatized from that. And so she wasn't feeling very comfortable riding the horses. So they just rode like, a shortanyana distance. She's like, I'm over this. I want to get off. And they allowed her to do that, you guys. And I felt like, I felt good for her that she was able to do that if she was feeling uncomfortable, because I've been in situations where I feel like I'm not comfortable in this situation, but I will end up doing something and I will be so mad with myself afterwards. I remember getting on these rides, these rides that are there at Durban Beachfront. There's a merry-go-round, there's this one that goes so fast. And I never wanted to go. I always felt like if I get on this thing, I'm going to have so much anxiety, I will probably fall off the thing. And one day, people convinced me to get on it. And it was such a bad experience, because the thing that you hold on to that is supposed to tie you, this part so that you feel secured, was moving while that thing was moving around. And I kept sleeping. And is it? Bengishibilika, what's the word? Yokushibilika. Okay, Bengishibilika on that seat, and it was a horrible experience. And obviously, when you realize the thing is not secured and you are almost getting off a seat, it's not. You don't have a chance to say there's something wrong here. You have to hold on and ride the thing. The ride has to complete, and it was a horrible experience. But I think for like months, I was mad at myself. I wasn't mad at the people that convinced me to get on the thing, but I was mad at myself because I knew that I should not get on that ride, and I got on that ride because people are like, no, get on it, it's okay, it's not that bad, So I learned after that you know what, when you have a feeling that you shouldn't do something, don't do. Even if everybody thinks it's a good idea, if you feel like you don't want to do it, then don't do it. So I was glad for her that she was like, you know what, I know this is a great, a thing to do, and Mrs. Mops has been very nice to book this activity for us, but I'm not feeling it. So she got off, walked back. Mrs. Mops was like, you know what, I'm here to ride horses and I'm enjoying it, so I guess we'll meet, even though they didn't say, but she ended up completing her ride and then coming back to sit down with Nozipho, you guys. Anyway, when she gets back, obviously Nozipho is waiting for her. She's like, you know what, I'm really sorry that I couldn't complete the activity with you guys. Then Mrs. Mob starts talking about the fact that as a group they have picked up that she is not okay. Okay. And I knew that this thing could go, one way she could be happy that they have picked up that she's not happy, or she could be like, what do you mean I'm not happy? Because she really has been trying to look like everything is okay. But I like the fact that she was like, you know what, it's a good thing that some of these ladies are seeing that I'm not okay, and they're concerned enough to want to check in on me. Okay. And she does tell you guys that she has been going through a lot, and the biggest thing for her has been seeing her kids being affected with what has been going on in her marriage. She says last year she had her last born, and not so long after that the husband came on he is on a spiritual journey, because guys, these days everybody's just taking a spiritual journey. Okay. Even when they want to cheat, it's a spiritual journey for them. Even when they want to scam you, it's their spiritual journey. So when your partner says they're going on a spiritual journey, be concerned. Okay. Get a therapist, because they are about to put you through it. Okay, you are about to go through some things because they are going through a spiritual journey. So she says that he said he was going through a spiritual journey, and as part of that spiritual journey, he wants a second wife. Guys, listen. One thing that I think, listen, I'm not saying that I will ever be in this situation where somebody is asking me to take a second wife, because nobody would do that unless they have a death wish, Nobody would do that unless they were feeling like they've paid enough of their funeral cover. They want the funeral cover company to be doing something for them, okay? But I'm saying that for me, I wish that men would just be honest, okay? Because nobody takes a second wife from a dream. You don't just have a dream and then wake up and be like, Amadlozam, they really want me to take a second wife, and so I'm going to go look for a second wife. It's never that situation. Usually a person has been cheating for a long time, and then they decide that they are going on a spiritual journey. Now they want a second wife. There's a thing that I don't understand with it being a spiritual journey. If it's a spiritual journey, let's start with a conversation before you actually get somebody. But if you already have somebody and then you're telling me you're going on a spiritual journey, that's why you want to take a second wife, what the hell is that? Okay, that's the part I don't understand, because I don't believe that this woman was met last year. Because she is saying on Nozipho that her husband came to her last year after she had given birth to say that he was going through this spiritual journey, wanted to take a second wife, okay? So I wish men would be honest and say, listen, I've been cheating on you for years now. I feel like I'm in love with this woman, whatever that means, okay? I'm in love with this woman and I'm not willing to let her go. And I am tired of hiding her from you. So I really just would like us to sit down and renegotiate the terms of our marriage, because that is what they're doing. You are changing whatever it is that we agreed upon in the beginning, because we agreed that it was just me and you. Now you want to add another person. I think that, a lot of women will probably be willing to sit down and have a conversation if men would just be honest. But, they need to stop with this spiritual journey situation. Okay, because what kind of a spiritual journey is this? Anyway, so she says that he came and said that he wants to take a second wife. She's very clear to say, guys, she has not agreed to it. She's not about to agree to this, but it's very hard to watch that even though she hasn't agreed to it, that her husband is moving on to, take the second wife. He's taking steps that he needs to take the second wife. So in a way, you guys, I feel like maybe she's feeling like I don't even matter to you if you're moving forward and taking a second wife. So then she says that's another thing that I was like, oh wow. She says she can see that her husband is not okay. I wonder what that means, you guys. And I wonder if she means he's not okay, like people have been saying, which he looks like a guy Odlisiwe, because of the way that he was acting on that video. Or she's saying that he is not okay because obviously she is not agreeing, but he really wants to take a second wife. So he realizes that by taking a second wife, that she might actually end up leaving. And so he is not okay with that, okay? But if it's a situation of him maybe looking like Uljese, where maybe they just need to go by a palace, okay? I don't know, you guys, but he does. I was like, even the fact that she's still concerned about him not feeling okay, because I was like, anyway. So she also says at some point, you guys, that maybe everybody grows and maybe he has grown, and I'm like, that's not growth, moving from having a perfect family to disrupting everybody's life. You're disrupting 9 people's lives because they have 8 kids and the wife. You're disrupting the life of 8 people, or the lives of 8 people, so that you can accommodate 1 person. That is not improvement. That is not growth at all. You went from a perfect family to starting over another family that might not even work out. No, that's not growth. But that's how she describes it. She's like, people need to grow. Maybe he just also needed to grow, you guys. And Nozipho does say, you know what, she would have appreciated if she knew about this 17 years ago. This is the thing, you guys, that I think I've said in my other videos, that I would like to know if she had any indication that this is something that this man wanted before he said that he was going to take a second wife, and also the fact that people had said, he looks like, I don't know if people just say he looks like Ukonza Parliament because of the hair and the beard, because they always keep the hair the same way. Or they've seen him Parliament, and they do say that men from Abasondaga a lot of the times they would end up wanting a second wife anyway. So why was she being delusional, thinking that he was not going to want a second wife? Okay. So I don't know about that, you guys. And she doesn't mention that, but she does talk about him being on a spiritual journey. I loved the way that Mrs. Mobbs handled the situation. She was like, listen, this is not fair. You don't deserve this. It's not okay. In fact, it's very annoying that a man can just come one day and say that he wants this. And a man is saying that to somebody that is a perfect wife, okay, perfect wife, perfect mother, comes from a perfect family. Like I say, you guys, for me, I don't see growth when you have a perfect family and you disrupt all of it so that you can just add 1 member that is not really going to be added, because this part of your family is just getting disrupted and destroyed, and then you just want the other 1 person. It doesn't make sense to me. That's not progress. That's not growth. In fact, you're going back, okay? Anyway, you guys, but she does emphasize that she has not agreed to it, but he is moving on, you guys. And she does say, you guys, that a lot of them she doesn't recognize her life. Because, guys, if you watch them online, they were living a perfect life. They were traveling as a family, taking Christmas pictures with the kids, like perfect, like family goals, okay? So to move from that to this, I guess it's really, really difficult for her. She does say that she really appreciates the ladies, that they have been very supportive, and also mentions Uhappy, listen, Uhappy will message her every day in the morning. What I don't know, you guys, because part of me feels like this scene was shot after the video was leaked, and then part of me feels like maybe not, because they don't necessarily talk about the video, and so it might have been before, but maybe the ladies already knew, because it does feel like they know something, but they just don't want to say that they know something, so they just acting like they don't know, and they want to hear from Nozipho as to what is happening in her marriage, you guys. But like I said, ngelinye ilanga kuyofanele sibashise, okay? Then, you guys, let me go back to the beginning of the episode, because at the beginning of the episode, Nunurai has invited all the ladies with all of their kids to this strawberry picking farm, okay? And there's also some jumping thing for the kids there, some swings. It's a nice place to take the kids out to. And while the kids are playing, the ladies get to hang out. And Mrs. Sunday had not come. Nobody knows why Mrs. Sunday didn't come. Ratila is back from overseas, but she hasn't had the BBL. I don't know, you guys. The ladies are saying that Ratila needs a BBL. And I'm like, guys, nobody needs a BBL. If anything, some people need to go back and take out some BBLs, okay? Nobody. There's not a single person in the world. There's not a single woman in the world that needs a BBL. Nobody needs a BBL. They might want BBLs, but nobody needs a BBL. Okay? In fact, if we talk about needs, there are people that we are looking at online and we're like, this one needs to go back to the doctors and take out whatever it is that they put on that part. Okay? Because it doesn't look nice. Or it doesn't look okay. It looks like it might make you sick after a few years. Okay, so I don't understand the thing of women now saying certain women need a PPL. Guys, nobody needs a PPL. Even you yourself watching me, you don't need a PPL. You can go and get a PPL, but I am telling you, you don't need it. Okay, let's differentiate the needs from the wants. You want it, but you don't need it. But you wanting a PPL and going and getting it might lead to you needing to take it out in the future. Let's be clear on that, okay? So the kids know, okay, you don't need it, you want it, but definitely in the future you will need to take it out because it might make you sick, okay? Anyway, you guys, I don't feel like Ratila needs a PPL. I feel like she has a perfect body. I do. I hope you guys, she never ever feels pressure now to go and put, the cotton wool or whatever they put in there. Their butts. I know it's not cotton. People are like, you don't understand, baby, and it's not cotton wool. It's the fat, But I'm just saying, you guys, I feel like she has a perfect body. She doesn't need it. So she's back from overseas, and she is surprised by the ladies talking about how Mrs. Sunday was almost getting into a fight with Happy. And Nozipho made a weird joke about Mrs. Sun. She says, Happy almost Mrs. Sun. I feel like she has a sense of humor that the other ladies don't understand yet. So she will be so quiet, and then she will end up making these comments that everybody doesn't understand, but she's really like trying to joke around. Anyway, they hang out, the kids are there, the kids are having fun. All of that, you guys, went well. The interesting thing was Barbara having a conversation with, I forget the nanny's names sometimes. Barbara is Ratila's nanny with Nunurai's nanny. Okay, they're having Mabel. I think it's Mabel. Nunurai's nanny. They're having a conversation while picking the strawberries. Barbara confuses me because she in this episode she made it seem like she's only being called to work when they are shooting the show, almost like maybe the producers had told Ratila that she needs to be shooting with her. So it doesn't sound like she works. She's back working for Ratila full time. She's called on certain days to come and work for the family. And I feel like maybe she only comes when they're shooting the show. But she also does mention that Ratila called her to come take care of her kids when they went overseas, okay? But she's talking as if she doesn't like it, and she says that Umesisi has an evil heart. And I'm like, what the hell is going on with Barbara and Ratile? And she says this is the only reason she comes is because of the money that they'd be offering her when she's doing the speech jobs, but she's thinking of just disappearing, and not going back anymore. So I'm not understanding the Barbara situation. If you don't want to work for Ratile, why are you still going back to work for her? I don't understand that, you guys. And also, Ratile, guys, I don't understand it because, guys, if you've mistreated somebody, that takes care of your child, and then you bring them back to take care of your child, I don't know, I feel like it's a big risk, Once the relationship is fractured between you and the nanny or the person that is taking care of your children, just leave it, because you don't know in their hearts if they've really forgiven you, if you talk and whatever. And also you don't know if they might mistreat your child just because they were upset with you. Anyway, you guys, there was an episode for today. I don't want to lie, Nozipho's scene was very, very emotional. I did kind of shed a tear because I'm like, this man, They really don't know what they want, you guys. They really just don't know what they want. They can have a perfect situation, but sometimes it's just too perfect for them. They do want, chaos, They'll be like, this is just, we've been peaceful for a number of years in this relationship. Can we have some chaos? And they go and they get a side chick. That's all that it is, It's just a crazy man wanting to just have chaos anyana in the relationship. Anyway, you guys, that was the episode for today. In this season, you guys, of the Mommy Club, I do see some maturity when it comes to the ladies. I'm not sure about Mrs. Sunday. And then also there are times when I'm just not sure about how Ratile operates. I do kind of feel like if Ratile could just relax and be herself and stop acting so like perfect and whatever, a lot of us might end up liking her. But I'm just not sure. Sometimes I'm like, I like Ratile, and then the next thing I'm like, I don't understand. So next week they're going on a trip organized by Happy. We don't know where they're going yet, but it looks like there's going to be some drama there. And Mrs. Is it Mrs. Sun? No, it's Ratile that is going to be saying something about Mrs. Mobs not being there for Happy, I think. And it's going to be interesting to watch that, you guys. But I am enjoying this season of the Mommy Club. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it before Pumegana, share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers.